So thanks all for being here. My name is Jason LeVasseur, and you are amazing humans for being here. And thanks in advance for all the hard work you've been doing up to this point, right? You've been going nonstop, and I acknowledge that. So this is actually a perfect session for you to be in now, because I facilitate day-long events. I facilitate long events, and sometimes folks are sitting for a long time. And because I'm aware of that, I incorporate something that I call disrupted sitting into all my events, right? To make sure that folks can stay engaged, have a chance to move their bodies, and it changes the way that your brain feels. So, why do we do Energizers, right? This is the, you read the description in the book and you said, I'm going to this one, right? Can anybody think of why you might just do an Energizer? I mean, I sort of explained a little bit, but anything else you want to add to that? Yeah. Keep your audience engaged, right. Now, there's only a few reasons that I believe to do Energizers, and I believe they're so important to do. There's different levels of Energizers. Some Energizers can be considered like networking games, and some Energizers are just done for the sake of moving the body. And I'm gonna teach you both today. And if any of you were in my session where I talked about icebreakers, any of you, raise your hand if you were in the session where I talked about icebreakers. All right, what did I say about icebreakers? Would you share with the room what I said about icebreakers?
Icebreakers are a thing. You can do icebreakers. Never call them icebreakers. People get really bored and are very standoffish when you call it that. Just call it like connectivity or like just an energizer.
Great. So this is something that I've learned over the years as a facilitator. When you introduce a game as an icebreaker, about 3/4 of the room immediately turns off. Right? Because people when you're in the actual activity, it's not so bad, but most folks are anxious about icebreakers. And this is just something I've learned. So even though they're very important to help people get to connect with each other, it's very important that you just don't use the word, right? Don't use the word. Just call it an exercise, call it a game, call it an activity. So I will start with one, and some of you already got a chance to answer this question earlier today. Everybody grab your pen and hold it in the air. Wave it around in the air. Yep. Remember, because and all the workshops you go to, you're going to learn things that you want to remember. So you have a yellow piece of paper in front of you, you have a white card in front of you, and you can write on either of those. Those are yours. Those are yours forever, ever and ever. Would you please write down on one of the cards of your choosing or your own notes, what is one thing that you love about your campus? What is one thing that you love about your campus? When you've got something that you love about your campus written down, go ahead and wave your piece of paper in the air. Thanks. And now, would you please, when I say go, you're going to get up if you need to, or you can spin around if you need to, but there's room behind you to get out of the aisle. I'm going to ask you to find somebody in the room that you've never met before, and introduce yourself. Tell them your name, where you go to school, and what you love about your campus. Can I get an oh yeah? Oh yeah. Yeah, go meet someone new.
You're literally in the middle of my pretty much I usually
Hello.
I'm going to do that out of respect for Marissa next door, right? That was great. Thanks for doing that. All right, you just made a new friend, so look at them and say, thanks for being my new bestie.
Thanks for being my new bestie.
Awesome. So what I noticed, which is really great over here, as student leaders, we want to make our events fully inclusive, right? We want to make our events fully inclusive. So whenever there's a situation like that, and I notice that we need to be aware, even when we're asked to pair up with somebody, we need to be aware at all times if there's somebody who is not talking to somebody. Is there somebody who's left out? Right? And I don't ever want you to think in your head, oh, somebody should go talk to them. You're the somebody. You are the somebody, as a student leader, who will engage the person at your event who's maybe not engaged with anybody else. Just to go say hi to them, right? So in that little activity that we did, pretty much most of the room got to talk to somebody. There was one person who wasn't talking to anybody, right? But that's, I don't know if you finished a conversation or you did, okay, good, all right? So my goal there is that everybody has a conversation with somebody new, right? And that's a great way to elevate your awareness. That's an energizer, right? That in itself is an energizer. So even right now, I'm going to challenge you to think back, since you walked in the room, what are the things that I have done intentionally that might be considered brain stimulants or energizers? You can, and if you feel like writing it down, that's great. Go ahead and write down what you noticed. Write down what you noticed. All right, so even in that short amount of time, y'all, we did some things. May I create a comprehensive list of what you've already come up with? Who would like to share what you wrote down on your piece of paper? Thank you. One of your items.
Making us get up and do something.
Get up. Disrupted sitting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Having colored paper around.
Colored paper. Absolutely. That's very intentional. Very intentional, right? It's bright, and you when you walked in the room, you're like, something's happening, right? Yeah.
Candy.
Candy. Okay. Food is always a great thing that will, and candy's just fun and it's easy, right? But you can also have drinks. You can have food. I mean, those are always successful at your event. But they do, if you introduce them in the middle of a meeting, it will get people like, oh, food, right? And you don't have to have it at the beginning. You can sort of surprise people by pulling a bag of candy out of your bag if you're leading the meeting, right? And wait till you see the eyes on the people in the room. Like, candy! Yes? Network, right? So connect with another human, right? So in that moment of you making another human connection and making eye contact, we wake up a little bit, right? Now, if you're looking at your bestie who you spent the whole day with and you're just staring at each other, there's a chance your eyes might close, right? But I forced you to look at someone brand new, and you're like, hello, new person. I like you, and you like me. This is awesome. We're besties now, right? Go ahead.
Your constant movement, moving around the place, you guys all look at you and like.
Yes, that's very intentional, right? I'm glad you noticed that. Good. Yes, I move when I present, but it makes you all have to move your eyes, right? Imagine if I just stayed in one place, right? And I sat here, on the floor or something. And I was like, listen to my story. Right? But sometimes your meetings are like that, right? If you have to talk about budgets and there's 5 of you around the table, right? So be considerate of how do you incorporate energizers. Yes, we got I move, Jason moves, move Jason. Okay. Yes, okay.
Okay, list of stimulants. Having people move away, so if there's seats in the middle, I feel like it makes people constantly conscious of who's coming in and out of the room and who could we include, who's just walking through the hallway.
Right. That's great. Yeah, so my asking you to move your bodies, like even to make room, that is, I move, you move. I moved you.
I was just thinking the being conscious of other people.
Being aware,
Wanting
having to be aware of other people. We saved you the seat.
See?
We saved you the seat.
Perfect.
Now if somebody else comes in, we're gonna say, we saved you the seat. So would you do me a favor, just in case somebody else comes in? Yeah, then it'll make it easier. That's what we did earlier. We were actually just talking about how we did that, right? Yeah, it was. We were just talking about how we made it easier for a new person to come into the room. And we can tell that you don't mind all this attention, right? No, you're good with it. But not everybody would like that, right? Not everybody would like that. So it's really important that we don't know where people are coming from, right? We will do our best as student leaders to show up to events when we're supposed to be there, but we don't know if the car broke down, we don't know if you had to talk to the babysitter, we don't know if you were babysitting and the family showed up late, right? And so as the facilitator, when somebody comes in the room, I want to honor the new person for being there, right? It's a celebration. We added another instrument to the band. You make us better. Everybody's, how do you say your name? Nikaija. Everybody say hi, Nikaija. Hi, Nikaija. Everybody say, Nikaija, you make us better.
Nikaija, you make us better.
Right? That was awesome. Because you do. I'm like, we were really good before. But now we're like, what? Right? It's amazing. All right. What else have I done already? Yes. I put a dinosaur on the floor. Yeah. You noticed that, huh? I'm gonna write that down.
We were talking about that too, and then I was questioning it because it looks like a dog.
Okay, I do have a dinosaur on the floor.
Oh, can I have him?
So, even that, you can use sound as like it's time to start something new. All right, okay, or like if you were all talking to each other rather than doing the clap, maybe this would work, right? And then you know, oh, the squeak means we need to be quiet now. Jason wants to talk, right? So you can utilize things like that just for fun. But the visual of this, and I did buy this intentionally. Like I went to a pet store to get a stuffy that would make noise, right? It's just never seen the jaws of a dog. Never. It's only been in my suitcase and at all my events. He travels with me. I have yet to name him. Maybe we can name him today. Yes.
You have a stretching, but the fact that you put your thing here first, you can use it for an activity later.
All right. So the fact that there's a balloon on the table, right? A balloon on table. Hold on. Whew. On table. Okay. Occupy your hands. Fidget. Now, Cody did an awesome session yesterday on making it an event better, more
accessible.
Thank you for neurodiverse. Yes, thank you so much. Right, that's why he gave that talk and I didn't. Right, but when you get to play with it, right now, here's something I wanted you to know about the balloon. So there's lots of different things you can do with the balloon, right? We could do all sorts of activities with balloons, right? We could bounce them in the air, we could blow them up, we could never blow them up, right? We can fill them with water and throw them at each other, which the Marriott would love, right? But here's the thing that I never thought of prior to another APCA event that I did last year, where I had the balloons, but I didn't have them on the tables. I went like this. I had a balloon blown up already, and it was under the table. And right, I was like, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna get everyone to just bounce the balloon, and this is an energizer, right? In the middle of a meeting when you're talking about budget, disrupted sitting is very important. I had a student scream and run out of the room, right? The balloon didn't pop, but they had a phobia of balloons, right? And I would not have known that in the beginning, but I know because you all sat with the balloons that it's like a appetizer to blowing up the balloon, right? But if anybody in here doesn't want us to blow up the balloons, we don't have to blow up the balloons, right? And we want to respect and make the event inclusive, right? So we'll, but it's important to just be aware that that could happen. Be aware that that could happen. She came back in after the balloon fiasco. I never thought I'd have a balloon fiasco, but you learn a lot, right, as you move through this journey. All right, so that's good. What else? A lot of hands are already up, yeah.
When it came in, the song was playing.
Music. Do you know what music does to the brain? It stimulates the synapses, right? And so this is very intentional. I recommend for all of you, whenever you're in charge of the meeting, you have music playing as people come in, right? Because it changes the sound that you hear. And I chose music that was pop music, and I chose music that was family friendly. If there's a clean version of a song, it is not an appropriate song to be playing for a group setting. Okay, hear what I said. If there's a clean version of the song, that song should not be used at all. Because that means that everybody in the room knows that the other part of it, right? And you, on a college campus, even though you're adults, there's still a level of professionalism that you must maintain. Okay, so and this is very important that you understand that if there's a clean version of the song, it is not appropriate for the settings that you're working in. And guess what? There's thousands of songs where they don't have a clean version because they don't need to. You will have an amazing event without songs that might trigger an idea or a thought or offend somebody. Okay, thank you. Your hands up.
Coffee cups?
Yeah, the coffee cups. What are we gonna do with those? Who knows? All right, and those are just things that you thought about. All right, what else? Anybody have something written that we haven't said yet?
I mean, mean, I just think about it. It's props everywhere. Like I see on the table there are things, on the ground there are things on the table. So I just wonder what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna like focus on the presentation.
Right. Okay.
So I'll think, oh, something's ahead. Right?
I did things differently in the room, so you're now thinking. And that's very intentional. I put them there.
Yeah.
I wanted you to see them, right? And you might not be able to see them back there, but there's tennis balls and other balls over here, right? Okay. Another one, yes.
When you had us like put the papers up. And,
Right. Yes. That's more disrupted sitting. That's more of you using your body. And right now, you've been sitting too long already. I can tell. It's after 5 o'clock on the second day of a conference. I'm doing a terrible job in this Energizer session. But hold your paper up, right? Hold your paper up. All right. What else did I do? Cards, pens, right? Anything like that, getting interaction. Like getting interaction so that you know that folks are moving their bodies and they're not dozing off, right? It's really good stuff. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I did 12 Energizers in the first 5 minutes. I said you were going to get 10 Energizers in this session. We're done. No, I'm kidding. Right, but your hand was up again. You have a 13?
another one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like acknowledging people when they come in, like go back in, like what they do, like just look at acknowledging people.
Acknowledging people, absolutely, yeah. And in your position, if you're having a meeting with people you know, saying their name when they come in the room, right? Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Bucky, right? Whoever your friend is, and maybe they're Bucky. Saying names is very important, and that's another reason why we have these name tags. Okay, are you ready for actual Energizers with more props? Can I get an oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
All right, so everyone grab a cup, spread your cups down the rows, spread your cups down the rows. So, with the cup, there's a lot of stuff we can do with the cup. The one that I use all the time. All right, so you're already utilizing it for a song. That's awesome, right? You're doing cups. Right? But ready for this? We're about to get a little wacko in here. Are you ready? So when I invite you to, you are all going to stand up and see how many times you can hit the cup in the air. All right, and if you want to move to more space, there's space back there, there's space up here. If you feel too tight in where you are, just stand up and play with your cup. See how many times you can hit it in the air. And if it falls on the ground, just pick it back up.
Oh, Colby!
You have other people around you, yeah. You can even go do it in the hallway if you want.
Yeah, use the wall. Does that count? Oh, shoot.
All right, you can stay standing, right? What I'd like you to do now, so how did that make you feel? Anybody, you got thumbs up?
A little frustrating.
Okay, you were frustrated?
A little bit.
How's your blood pumping? I bet it got your blood pumping, right? What frustrated you?
Just trying to keep it up, and then it would go like, the wind would take it the other way.
The wind, yes, yeah. The indoor winds.
The indoor winds.
Right, the indoor winds. Right, but are you more awake than you were when you were sitting?
Yes.
Right, and that's the goal, right? Even if you're frustrated, that's okay, because if I was moving into another part of our meeting, like now we had to talk about, or we had to do some big thinking about big planning, right? Everyone's a little more alert right now. And then I can introduce the next item and we can move into it, right? Whether it's budgeting or how are we gonna market our next event, right? So now you played with it by yourself. You played with it by yourself. Get back together with your bestie, your new bestie that you met earlier, that you shared in your school. And then with one cup, just with one cup, see how many times, like, I want you to count, how many times can you keep it in the air without hitting the ground? How many times can you keep it in the air without hitting the ground?
I trust you. I guess we're Oh, they want us to hit it.
All right, stay right where you are. What did you notice about that round versus the round before when you were playing by yourself? Yes? You were targeting.
Yeah, accident.
Okay.
I gotta be in both ways.
Okay. All right. What else do you notice that was different? Yeah.
We're communicating with one another.
Communicating with one another, right? That's great.
It's like a lot less frustrating because we're just having fun and we're like laughing with each other.
Yeah. Did you notice that? The first round, nobody was laughing. They were all just like, burr, burr, burr. But that round, there were like full body laughs going on. You did like, ah, right? And what does that tell us about interacting with other people? It's pretty telling, right? So this cup idea is really fun. So can I get two of the groups just to stay up here with me and then I'll ask them. Would you guys who feels like they're going to just stay up here? Were you guys okay to stay up here? You feel like you did a great job? Okay, the two of you come up here.
There's 3 of us actually.
All right, 3 of you, and then I'll use those 3 and these 3. Okay, everybody else go back to your seats. Go back to your seats.
What's your name?
Yeah, I'm sure. You can take my God.
Now I'm going to
So now, what I want you to think about is whatever size your group is. There's one seat here, y'all. But if you're okay, you're good. Okay. So now the 3. This is going to be tough. In this space, the 6 of you. Let's pretend that you are the committee. You are the committee, and you have to meet once a week. You have to meet once a week, and every week you have a cup game. Every week, the 6 of you, because you're on this committee, and every week you get together and you try to break last week's record. Right? You try to break last week's record. And this is a really fun activity to do throughout a semester because you can do it every time you get together. Right? Now, I did this at summer camp with 50 people. There's 50 camp counselors. And we tried to get it so that every single person in the whole group at least hit it once. Once we did that, it took us a couple weeks. Right? We want to make sure 50 people hit the cup in the air before it hit the ground. It took 2 weeks of playing every day before meals to do that. Then we decided, can we get it, not just 50, but can we get it around twice? Right? And we did it. By the end of the summer, we were there for 7 weeks. And I got to tell you, that was such a big celebration. Right? So now, friends, just the 6 of you, and I understand this might not go, they might not be able to, all 6 of them hit it once. Right? You got it? Okay. All right, get together. And now this is just pretend that this is your group.
Woo!
Sam, it's not a beach ball.
You hit it. Look, he passed it. Okay. Never mind.
No. Wait, one more round. I feel good about this. Hit it when it's on the ground. Just smack it.
Oh.
Who still hasn't hit it?
I think we all hit that round.
Oh, everybody cheer for them anyway. Okay, so that was great. You can go back to your seats. Thank you so much. All right, but that's just a really simple way, and you have cups on campus. I know you do. Somewhere there's a cup. And it could be one cup, right? But this could be something that you just incorporate in, right? And I hope that you remember what I said earlier about writing things down, right? You're witnessing a lot. I wrote down 13 Energizers. Did you write down anything?
Yes.
Okay, but I'll let you take a picture of my paper later. Okay? So you don't really have to write anything down. So we did cups, right? But what else could you do with a cup? What else could you do with a cup? And any ideas are good ideas. How can you utilize this cup? Yes?
You can try to flip a cup in that cup.
Flip cup, right? Okay, that's cool. Like to make it stand up? Is that what you mean?
Or you can
Yeah. Oh, and make it land in the cup. Oh, did you see that? You try to flip. All right, so there's another activity you can do just with cups. Flipping the cup so it lands in the cup. I love that. You have an idea back there? Yeah.
Play soccer with it.
You can play soccer with it, right? You can kick it until it falls apart, right? Yes, what's your idea?
Definitely stole this one from somebody at this conference, but they were doing root beer pong for like drinking awareness.
Okay, root beer pong for drinking awareness. So if you have a ping pong ball in your meeting, you can also play that game, yes. Yeah, I love that. All right, would you do that louder for everybody?
You can do volleyball, sir.
I love that. Okay, good. Yes, what do you got? Stack cups, right? You can do, yeah, minute to win a game with cups, yeah.
could do the couple things.
Yes, we have somebody back there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yes, what's another?
Telephone.
Telephone. Okay, great. All right, I love what you did with your balloon. That's super fun. So fun. All right, yes, another one?
You could like have everybody bounce the cup on their head for the whole meeting.
Oh my gosh, that's really great, right?
But then whoever holds it the longest wins. the
Right.
prize.
Do you think, can we talk about a serious subject right now?
I'm gonna give up.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good thing I asked. Yeah. All right. What about, anybody else have another idea with cups? Yes.
You put a cover or throw chocolate.
Okay. What, you don't even need to throw chocolate. What do you have on the table? Candy. All right. All right. So if you don't want your candy and you want to throw candy at me right now, go for it. Right, but you can have basketball competitions. You can use two at the end of each table, and then you can roll up a ball of paper, and you can play basketball, right? Super fun. All right, that's just cups, right? That's just cups. Think of all the Energizers we just came up with cups, and they're everywhere, right? Super fun. Okay, now.
If you hold that this whole time.
We're gonna have fun, and you can do this with beach balls, but I just happen to have these that I work with this is a summer camp place that makes these.
Throw it right here.
All right, so.
Yeah, can you throw it right there?
Yes, but I'm gonna throw the ball, but I want you to know that on both of these balls, there's items written on the ball. There's items on the ball, like this one says 3 yummy foods. This one says colors, right? So when you catch it, whatever your right thumb is on is what you're going to share, right? So mine was just on place where you were born. I was born in Norwalk, Connecticut. Thanks for asking. Okay? So I'm going to throw this to the back because you wanted it. Wherever your right thumb is you're going to share that. But when you catch it, you're going to stand up. Oh, I'm not going to try to knock it off his head. No, no. All right, you're going to catch it. And then you're going to read what's on it. And then I'll throw this one over there. And you guys are all going to stand up. But then you're gently going to pass it around. You're not going to throw it. I'm the only one that gets to throw it to.
What?
Do we go ahead and say it now?
Yeah.
You have to stand up.
Great vacation place. Myrtle Beach.
Nice. Okay, what do you have?
Types of furniture.
All right, give us a type of furniture. Chair. Okay, good. Now give it to someone else. All right, if you have it in your hand, please stand up. All right, what do you got on yours?
TV show I'd never watch. I'm gonna say Grey's Anatomy.
Cool.
It is long. I don't think
Things to drink. Things to drink. Right.
I still watched it, but it is long.
Okay, lots of Tuesday, lots of
Still
fun.
watched it.
Okay, so this one is different. This ball is called categories, right? This one's called categories. So what you can do with your group is if it's kinds of birds, you land on kinds of birds, you as a group have to come up with as many kinds of birds as you can, right? You make a comprehensive list of birds. So this is just a fun activity. That one is more specific to the individual. You want to do one more round of that? You can hand it off to somebody else.
Sure. Oh, sorry.
Or throw it.
I got a cool gift.
What is it?
I put my hand on a cool gift.
Cool gift. Oh, let's hear it. What's a cool gift?
No, I didn't ask, I just said I'll get one.
Oh, you get, yes. Oh my gosh. You do get a cool gift. I got you. All right. So since we're on the topic, we had cups for our house. So you can do it with glasses. You can't throw these in the air, but you can play basketball with them. Right. You can play basketball with them. You can. All right, good. So those balls, but really think about this. You get to get a beach ball, and you take a Sharpie and you write all over it. You write categories, then you throw the beach ball around the room. That's very easy to catch. Easier than these little balls. I traditionally use these little balls when I'm in a circle with a team, right? When I'm circling up. So if I were doing an event on your campus and I was with you all day, we'd eventually get to these and each one we'd spend a lot more time on them, but we'd do it in, this room's not set up the way I would have set up the room if it were my room. It's not my room, I'm a guest in the room too. All right, so let's brainstorm what we can do with this.
Throw it.
Oh my gosh, what'd you say?
It's a feeling
A
dinosaur.
feeling dinosaur? What does that mean?
Like we're having like a mental health check on the group. And have LeVasseur
Do a little improv.
Oh, that is awesome. Would you be willing to start it off? All right, would you be willing to stand up? Thanks so much. And then if you'd like to hold the dinosaur, just let our friend know.
Ooh.
If you're ready to share with all of us, we'd love to know because we like you.
I'm feeling really tired, but
Yes. Thank you for telling us. Now, would anybody else like to share their feelings?
All right, he's not going back. You can do improv with it.
Yes, but it's a feelings dinosaur right now.
Here, make it tough. Where are you telling your feelings? Okay, do it.
I feel.
I feel tired too. But you're probably less tired than you'd be if I were just lecturing, or if I were just reading from a PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, dude, I could have gone to my room before dinner, right? Right. So that is that's one of the things we can do with the dinosaur. Is a feelings dinosaur. What else can we do with the dinosaur?
Make it a puppet.
Yeah, you can do improv with it, right? Yeah, you can really just throw it. You can just throw it around the room, right? Hold on. I didn't say throw it. I said if you set up the event, this is one thing you have to do. Be really aware of it, right? You have to make sure that everybody knows what you're about to do.
Sneak attack.
Because with the dinosaur too, I don't know if you've seen when you circle up and you could stand in a circle and throw the dinosaur underhand to somebody, right? You never want to hurt anybody in an Energizer. All right. How about
Juggle.
I can't juggle.
Can you?
juggle?
Can you juggle? Okay.
You can juggle? A little. Come up here.
Very good.
Okay. I would like you to notice that my willingness to bring somebody else up front is also an energizer. You're now more interested in the front of the room than you were just 10 seconds ago when it was just me. You are already tired of lifting me. How many do you want? My friends, people in the room, my besties, give it up for Sam!
This is why I believe you're 99%.
Alright, now, other things that you can do with tennis balls.
Where you guys from the school?
Alright, so you hear what he said earlier? Look, we have 10 more minutes. Let's try to stay on track so that you go away with things that will help you. Okay? You throw it in the cup.
I sing opera.
Said you could throw it in the cup. I'm not going to throw it. There's risk of danger in that one, right? But if you had a partner, right, and you were just tossing it back and forth to cups, I'm not throwing them. What else do these do other than fly through the air? What can they do?
Do they squeak?
They can bounce. What else can they do? I mean, they're hard to squeeze, but you could. Yes.
You can play keep it in the air with your foot,
You can play like a hacky sack, right? Can I borrow this? Okay. Yeah, of course. What else can you do with these?
Rolling.
Bowling. Oh, bowling.
Right? You have somebody at one end of the room setting up the pins. Here, would you please bowl and knock those pins down?
Strike. Cup pong.
You got another ball.
You know what they say?
Come on, man.
He goes for attempt number 3.
Yes. Okay. So that's all you needed to see, right? But here's something I also did very intentionally. I set up the pins, but I wasn't the one that bowled. I threw the ball to my friend, right? So immediately you were looking somewhere else, right? And it was more, and you're probably more awake now because pressure was on. People were looking at you, right? So these roll. And there's all kinds of things you can do with rolling. Like, here's another example. Same idea. Here's the cup. And golf. Okay. Would anybody like to try to get the ball in the hole? All right, come on over here. Hey. Right? You see how far away it is, right? But these are little games that you can do in your meetings and in your events, right? And you mentioned Minute to Win It. There's tons of those great games.
You got it.
All right, you got this. Yeah, and you can decide. I mean, you can also do this with a tennis racket. Here you go.
Oh, 5 at once.
All right.
It wasn't me. It was
Right, but this is, you can turn this into a competition or just something fun to do when people walk in the room. Right? These don't have, all right, you did great. Get everybody to take a round of applause. Right, these things could already be set up. You can keep that if you need to. These things could already be set up when you come to the room, so you always have golf when you come into the room.
Yeah!
Good job.
First try.
Oh,
Yeah, first try my ass.
Peyton, you win. You win a prize.
Oh, thank you.
Right? That's awesome.
Did you throw it?
Oh, y'all are doing so good. All right, so, but all those techniques you can use, like even stuff you were getting for free downstairs, for free, right? You can use stuff like this. Now, the other one that I love is the yellow sheets on the table. I love helping people make a better connection, right? And everybody that ever comes to your events or comes to your meetings also wants to make a better connection with the people there. As humans, we like to travel in packs. We like to connect with other people, right? And no matter who comes to your events, and I noticed this really I learned this a lot in 2020, in March of 2020, when we transitioned from human interactions to Zoom interactions. And I think a lot of schools made some mistakes in this, and I started offering ideas to people because I was presenting a lot on Zoom. Folks are coming to those events, right? And let's say it's drag queen bingo, which I chaperoned for a couple schools because they knew that I was very good at controlling Zoom and kicking people out who might be rude, right? But drag queen bingo is awesome. It's bingo, but a drag queen is the one leading it. So it's a very, you know, it's just a fun event and it's very inclusive. Everyone's welcome. One of the things I realized after I witnessed a drag queen bingo is there were 35 students who had come in to play bingo. And the drag queen was awesome. It was amazing. People won prizes. But there was never an opportunity during the 90-minute event on Zoom for the students who showed up at Drag Queen Bingo to meet each other. Right? So from that point on, as the chaperone, because I didn't design that program, I was just there as the Zoom controller, I talked to the school and said, next time we do this, let's do connection activities before the game begins. So that the students who are isolated at home, who chose to show up at Drag Queen Bingo on Zoom, and you wanted to make a friend. Like, so what I did from that point on is everything I ever did, like the first thing I did was I asked a prompt like I asked today. What's one thing you love about your school? Or what's something you want to have for your birthday dinner? So I would set up an easy conversation. I'd ask the question, and then I'd let people go into those small breakout rooms, like of three or four people. Because most people are comfortable turning on their camera in a smaller group. And then once that happened, we had much greater engagement once we went into the big group. Right? I called it like, you get to go backstage with a couple people, get to know them. But then it turns out real friendships were made that way. But that is the same thing that when you come into these rooms as well. You came to this conference with wide open, like learning about activities, but you were also curious about the other people here. And I know that at this point in the weekend, you've met other people from other schools. And maybe you've even changed information with people from other schools, and that's beautiful, right? So, this connection idea that I've helped you with, because you as a student leader need to grow your network, right? You need to know more people. The more people you know, the more people you can impact. But you might not always know how to start a conversation. So if you keep something like this in your back pocket, you can always have a question to ask someone. So what I'd like you to do now is look at the yellow piece of paper, pick a question that you would like to ask somebody in this room. Just choose it, but don't say it out loud. So, the next 3 minutes, I'm going to ask everyone to please right? I want to make sure everyone has the proper tools. Right? So everyone is, Mandy, you're going to try to ask a question, and it doesn't have to be that question. The reason I asked you to pick one question, it's I actually wanted you to look at the whole list. That was pretty tricky of me, right? So now that you see all the questions, what I'd like you to do is ask a question of a different person in the next 3 minutes, see how many people you can get a good answer from, and they're going to ask you a question too, but you can't ask the same question twice. Any questions? You're going to try to meet as many people as possible asking a question. You can't ask the same question twice. Okay, go. You got 3 minutes. Go ahead and grab your seats so we can close out, and then we're going to head to dinner. But on your way back to your seats, think about some aha moments during the last 45 minutes. What is something that you know now that you didn't know 45 minutes ago? And write it down. What do you know now that you didn't know then?
12 more people than I didn't know before.
You met 12 more people that you didn't know before? That's awesome. Yeah. Are Energizers hard to do?
Yes.
How easy it is to incorporate them, right? And this is a real, like, real life example of you all being just exhausted. And there's nothing you can do about that. You've been cranking out these last 2 days. But these Energizers kept you engaged, right? You were engaged because we did them, right? And so maybe I would encourage you to take photos of the room, just so you remember some of the stuff, right? And if you want to take a photo of the list that I made earlier, but I also, you can take a picture of that. Would anybody like a piece of paper to remind you of what we did? You can transfer those. Okay, so I will just, would you be willing to hand those out? You can just put the right number at the end of every table. Thank you so much for being here, y'all. Thanks for making a difference in each other's lives, and thank you for making sure that your events on your campuses are inclusive and everyone feels like they belong. And with that said, be an awesome audience for the next showcases. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Best Saturday of the week.
That's right.